If you've played the Suikoden games, you've likely noticed that most characters don't appear to have last names. Now, the games have over 100 characters in them, so it might seem like the developers did not want to track so many names and simply did not spell them out for you. While this is a reasonable conclusion to draw, it is not actually the case. According to the lore, the majority of people in the Suikoden world do not have surnames or family names at all. And while this might seem a bit strange to a modern audience, it is actually fairly realistic, as surnames, especially those showing family lineage, only became common in Europe in the 16th century. Before that, most commoners in the real world did not have last names. For example, in England, they would have had a first name and a descriptor, usually their occupation or where they lived, e.g. John the Smith. Over time, these descriptions evolved into the last names we know today, and the reason Smith is such a common surname is because being a smith was a very common job. Japanese society worked much the same way, and family names were reserved for nobility, aristocrats, and samurai. However, by contrast, this system remained in place all the way until 1868 in Japan. But as you are no doubt aware, there are characters in Suikoden who do have last names, and there are indeed rules for how these work, which we will be looking at in depth today, and the information in this video comes primarily from page 344 of the original Suikoden Encyclopedia and page 808 of the Kiwami Encyclopedia. Names in Suikoden can be broadly divided into 4 categories: surnames, first name only, special names, and elven names. For surnames, only those who have high status or come from families with status, such as nobles and royalty, are allowed to have a last name. A surname can also be granted to notable individuals who have served their nation in some way, essentially elevating them to the status of aristocrats. For example, the Silverberg family has produced many renowned strategists through the years, while Luca is a member of the royal family of Highland, and Nash is a member of an influential noble family in the Holy Kingdom of Harmonia. Thus, simply having a last name is a sign of noble lineage. But because of this, it is also not uncommon for people of less savory dispositions to use a false name to pretend to be of a higher class. There is also a subclass of this category called middle names. These are not middle names as we would think of them, but rather nobiliary particles, and apply to characters like Vincent de Boule and Lino Encoldes. In these cases, the D and N are considered the middle name, even though they are part of the surname, and this practice is reserved only for those of the highest status. For first names only, these are the majority of people in the world. Even if someone originally of a lower class were to hold a high-ranking government position, they would not automatically be given a surname. There are also people who do have a surname but choose to keep it private and only go by their first name. Special names are segmented names like Hai-Yo or Fu-Su-Lu that may appear to include a middle or last name, but are actually a single given name. These types of names are usually picked by a parent or guardian to give their children a more unique name or because they think they sound nice. While they may resemble compound names, they do not follow any formal structure and are not indicative of family ties or status. However, there is an issue with these names that comes from the localization. Characters like Lo Wen and Lo Fong do not fall within this category because their Japanese names do not have a nakaguro, a punctuation mark used to denote separation in names in Japanese. These were separated by the localizers because they thought it looked and/or sounded better and are not lore-consistent as such. The last category is Elven names, which are a separate case all on their own. Elven names are comprised of 4 parts, the first being the given name, then the mother's name, thirdly, the family name, and finally, the clan name. This is supposedly how all Elvish names are structured, but Konami has never revealed the full names of any elf outside the original Suikoden that I can find. Using Kirkus as an example, his full name is Kirkus Shana Quest Laviankana, and all elves from the first game belong to the same clan.